Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Today we are going to be discussing the case of Casey Anthony. I have with me, as always, my right-hand man, the master of all the compilations of TYT, and that, of course, is Mr. Alf Benny. Welcome to the program, Alf.
Yo, what's up, guys? Thank you for having me, Sean. I'm sure this is
Thank-
going to be a lot of fun. I've been waiting for this.
And the hero of today, the absolute expert on the case of Casey Anthony, the person who's going to answer all the hard questions, is, of course, Roberta Glass, who just joined us as we went live.
Hello, thank you. That's a lot of pressure to be the expert. I don't know. I don't know if I can answer everything, but I'll try.
Well, I only know what I know through osmosis about this case. So I needed someone to come in, and I know you know all the true crime things, 100% of it. So I figured you would be the perfect person to talk Casey Anthony with.
Absolutely. I hear this is outrageous, so I can't wait. I've just seen little clips of it. I hear it's really over beyond the pale with hubris.
So I do have a very important question I wanted to ask you related to the case, and I just need to know, and this is very serious and why we need an expert. Is Casey Anthony hot?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good answer. Straight up.
Like
No
Amanda Knox.
No hesitation.
Like Amanda Knox, like so many of these celebrity murderesses, very much like Velma Kelly from Chicago. I mean, they're charismatic people, and the public seems to be interested. Also, I mean, a benefit to Amanda Knox, her father hired a PR agency before he hired a lawyer. So he spent $1 million in PR. So, I mean, some of that's from that. Casey Anthony, because there was such it's an adorable girl. She's beautiful. Her family looks on the outside fairly normal. It really captured America's attention. I certainly was watching the trial along with everybody else.
I remember watching it.
You too?
Yeah.
Or not?
Do you think that's part of the thing, right, of what makes them popular in the limelight? Even though some of these women are murderers, but it still makes them popular because they're good looking, right?
100%.
What was the other one? Devin made a video on her that was it Crystal Kaiser? No, not Crystal Kaiser. The other one.
Oh, you mean? Oh gosh. Oh my! I made so many of her. Yeah, Brown, Centoya Brown.
Yeah, Centoya Brown, and she was also kind of a pretty girl too. So I could see.
And she would wear like pigtails to her heroes.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
would really make herself like she kept like aging in reverse, being like, I was really young. Look, I'm 8 years old.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just a cute little girl. I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
And she did age in reverse throughout the whole course of the case because they were like saying her mental state like proved that she couldn't be prosecuted for this crime, like she was some kind of a baby and all of that. The pigtails at trial, very different from her saying over the phone to her adopted parents that she executed the victim in that case. I believe it was Johnny Allen.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a trick and all of that, but it's very important that we all note that Casey Anthony is attractive. She has giant blue eyes. I need everybody to get past that, and we need to talk about this specific case. But I do want to ask you, Roberta, before we get into a serious question, what do you think is the most compelling evidence for her guilt, or do you think she's innocent?
Well, I think that depends on what you mean by guilt and innocence. Obviously, in the eye of the law, we don't really have a claim of innocence, sort of like not proven would be a way to put it. I would think a better way to put it. So case wasn't proven. I think most people would think she's guilty because, well, let's see. There's the history of lying. Like she said she was working at Universal Studios for months and months, and she wasn't. She stole money from her maternal grandmother. Then she stole money from her parents. So there's a history of dishonesty there already. And so when she says my daughter was kidnapped by Zanny the nanny, that's her first story. Then it changes. Then you have to say, well, why is she changing her story and for what reason? Also, there's the fact that the car that she borrowed from her parents, her mother's calling in to 911 saying this smells like death. Have you ever smelled death, Alf or Sean?
Yeah,
you have? Alf?
Yeah, you recognize it instantly. Right. You know what it is.
That's something that police officers, I luckily haven't, but they've always said to me, oh, you just never forget that smell of death. It's just such a distinct...
I have friends that do like EMT work and stuff, and they say, even the second you enter a building, you don't even have to enter the apartment. The second you start smelling just an inkling of that smell, you know what's going on instantly. You never forget it.
I would say for Casey Anthony, obviously she was found not guilty of the murder, found guilty of lying to the police and all that. But I look at this case much in the way that I look at the OJ case, where they might have technically been found not guilty, but, that's because the jury is oftentimes the 12 dumbest people that you can grab from the neighborhood, and that ended up leading to her being found not guilty. However, the docuseries seems to be pointing the finger at her father, and you mentioned her stealing.
That's her new story that made me laugh from the trailer. I was like, what? She's changing it again?
You mentioned her stealing, and there's actually clips from the documentary where she says she even learned stealing from her father. So everything is being pinned on him, who apparently, according to her now, is a sexual abuser. Her brother was a sexual abuser. They're not the father of Kaylee Anthony. I mean, thankfully, she's not going that far. But, the documentary says that she used lying as a coping mechanism to deal with abuse, that essentially she's like a pathological liar. But also, if you read what the director of the documentary says, they're making the case that, she should be believed here because we got an interview with Casey Anthony, so obviously we're going to be on her side. Like, there's no real explanation for why she should be believed in her new version of events, her new version.
She even says my parents didn't ask me why I was lying, when that's the first thing her mother says to her. Why are you lying? You know where your daughter is. Why are you lying? It's so it's really beyond, but I think it's an interesting case where she claims now that she's a victim. So anything now that she's the victim of abuse, any criticism of her can now be seen as victim bashing. Yeah. And that's a real interesting thing in innocence fraud is this change. Now I think Martin Pry put it so well. He says they're making police villains and they're making criminals folk heroes. So that's about the way it goes. So it's now like the real victim is obviously Casey Anthony, not Kaylee, right?
Oh, and the real bad parents in this situation are Casey Anthony's parents. Like that's really the takeaway. But Alf brought up earlier before you came on when we were in the pre-stream, the name of the nanny that she gave, like one of the names. And I just want Alf to say it because it's so funny.
I don't remember the first name. It was like Zenaida Gonzalez Rodriguez or something like that. Yeah. I was like, wow. Me being a Latino myself, that sounds like such a fake made up name to say Rodriguez Gonzalez. Like, I know those are two very common last names. Just sticking random two names together.
It's like it's the super Latino name, Rodriguez Gonzalez.
Latino, yeah.
Oh my
what
God.
Would the Jew equivalent would be like Louis Lewenstein or something?
Yeah,
right?
or it's like if you put Steen and Gold together.
Right. Goldstein, right.
How long before Kim Kardashian starts advocating for Casey Anthony?
That's a good question. It's so odd that she seems to like to advocate for the most heinous crimes, like the scariest killers. So she already advocated for the baby killer. Was that in Texas? Who was Latina? Who abused her child, got it back, yes. And then finally, and then abused it, and then killed it, and then
Melissa
they were like, "Oh, the stairs." Thank you. The stairs. Yeah. Thank you. The stairs killed her. The stairs were biting her. Not Melissa, who confessed. Right on tape.
Meanwhile, all her kids are saying she's abusive and she was abusing that girl.
So it's similar to that, but I don't know if she's downtrodden enough for Kim Kardashian.
Well, the thing is like, what's the point of this? Like, why doesn't she just go live privately? She beat the main charge. Like, obviously, she got the lying to the police, but she beat the main charge. She's free. Like, she could just be living her life and partying like she always wanted to. But instead, it's like, we're going to do this docuseries, and we're going to throw out an alternative theory, and that's going to be that the father of Casey Anthony was the guilty party in this. Like, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like, so, you know, she was apparently sexually abused as a kid. And by the way, she ended up trying to scam some guy into being the father of the kid, but a paternity test revealed that he was not the father. And she said, oh, well, I was raped and I couldn't face the rape and that being my child and all of that. So, you know, that's the thing. And then, you know, there's a long history of her lying. So she was like 6 months pregnant at certain points, and she's lying to people saying she's not pregnant. And then, which is obvious because she obviously looks pregnant. So she throws that all on her parents. Like, the whole thing is like this Arrested Development shifting all of the focus to her parents rather than herself. And somebody just wrote in the chat that they think Casey Anthony has a self-defense argument against the baby. I guess that's a new one. But yeah, so like the whole shift is towards the parents, and I wanted to pull up this from Peacock, the streaming service. I've checked to make sure you guys should be able to hear it. We got to be a little cautious because NBC's going to copyright claim this, I feel, if I play too much uninterrupted. But I just wanted you guys to get the whole, like, a chunk of it in about the 31 days that she, you know, the kid was missing and not reported. So are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
"31 days. No Kaylee. No report to law enforcement that my daughter's missing."
Oh, so this is the detective, by the way. Like, if for those of you who don't know.
Okay.
So, you know, that's like the main guy who's like, she did do. It's ridiculous. He doesn't believe any of her stories. But the way that they paint him is like he's a bad guy, which is wild.
Like, what the hell? Like, where was Casey? Where was the mother of this child?
What are you looking at there?
I guess to some, this would be
There's another detective on the
photograph
case.
of a grieving mother trying to find her missing daughter.
you gotta love this guy. Like,
he's such a smart ass, but it's hilarious.
Well, for him, it's like, imagine you prosecute you're the lead investigator, one of the lead investigators on a case, and you investigate. You have this murder locked up. At least you think. You take it to trial, and then she's found not guilty. Like, and you have all this overwhelming evidence that people still excuse. Like, what? Like, would you not be a little bit like wise about it?
And it's just strange behavior in general. Anybody who's missing a child is not going to go out and party and have a good time. What that looks like to me instantly is this girl didn't want to have a kid. She probably met a guy she liked, wanted to go party and hang out with these people and hook up with this guy who doesn't want to have kids and doesn't want to be burdened with a child. So what's the thing to do here is, oh yeah, well, I'll just get rid of the child and now this guy will be with me and I can party whenever I want, right? That would be the obvious thing there, but who knows?
Have either of you seen the interview with her prison friend, who's also very hot?
No.
No, but I will look that up.
And she has a very Slavic sounding last name, like Najovic or something. And she basically told Casey, she claims that Casey Anthony told her that she used to drug her kid, put a rag over her face, go out and party, and then come back like the kid was just like passed out, like Michael Jackson style in the home, and she could basically live the life that she wanted, which is the life not of a mother but of a motherless, young adult.
That's a sensible, efficient, and by the way, you guys are hitting the nail on the head because where Casey was.
That's how I always thought
lines up with your theory. You could just see her like partying in the pictures and all that, which she says she wasn't, by the way.
Tell me about your behavior leaving the house and then the 31 days. The media? and the public have used this again and again as a
See, she looks good.
hammer
Big,
to hammer you
big
with.
blue eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is like a narrative choice that they use where they have her in the car and through the mirror and all that. I find that very weird, very strange and all that, because they're clearly next to her and behind her and they keep cutting between the two. So I'm not sure if they're using the 2-camera setup in order to keep a continuity that's favorable to her. Like, you know, she says something dumb, maybe they cut it out.
This is the building where Tony Lazzaro, Clint House, and his other roommates used to live. Tony and I had been seeing each other a couple months. The day my father took Kaylee away, this is where I came after I left my house that afternoon. I think I stayed here about 3 weeks out of the 31 days.
Okay.
I just tried.
So Roberta, I wanted you to jump in there because now it's what you call it. It's the day her father took Haley away.
Oh, she wasn't out partying. She was out there meditating on those 31 days. She was just driving to her favorite spot, sitting there, and she was just meditating. Those pictures of her out partying, those clearly Photoshopped because she was in the car just thinking about life and Kaylee being a mother, how much she missed her, all that private time. You know, strangely in a spot where nobody could see her. She was doing all that. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's going to come up. That's going to come up. Somebody's like, wait, is she still single? Does she have any kids?
Oh, wait.
Did she have, I'm looking at her, did she have face work? I know there was talk of that, that she was going to, because it was so hard being her. She was the most hated person in America. She was, I mean, her nose looks awfully straight there.
Yeah, it does.
I'm looking.
I mean, she probably tightened things up. You know, she didn't have to pay to feed her kid, to drug her kid or anything like that anymore.
Maybe the documentary paid for that nose job. We don't know.
But I was going to say so her new story is her dad took the kid, but you guys were very clear that she said that she dropped the kid off at a nanny's.
Right.
So, like, what do you think about this new
now
story?
she's saying her dad took the kid. Yeah.
Well, she's going farther. I mean, the trial, they blamed it on the dad. Their dad brought the kid out of the swimming pool and said, "What have you done?" I mean, isn't that the story? I mean, she's always blamed it on the dad. Now she's going even further. She's going further into that story.
But you think if you had an original trial, right, and you're like the outcome can be that you're going to go to prison for life, right? It's detrimental here, and you don't mention these things. You said they mentioned the father, but she doesn't go this far. But you think if you're on trial yourself to go to prison, you would sell your dad down the river, right? And tell the truth, the whole truth. It makes no sense for her to cover up for her dad there. If they're already somewhat blaming the dad already, why not go all the way?
That's my problem with the whole Burke did it theory and the Jean Bonnet, not to bring it into another but famous thing, is that it's just never happened in the history of the world that parents have covered up for one child killing another child. It's just
that makes no sense. I agree with that. I never understood that.
Doesn't happen.
All right, well, we're going to hear Casey's explanation.
Okay.
To be as normal as I could around him and even around his roommates. That was part of the main instruction from my dad, was just to be as normal as possible.
Nothing was out of the ordinary during the 31 days. She just seemed like her totally normal self.
She seemed absolutely fine. Like the happiest person.
I couldn't show that there was anything going on to anyone else. All of the photos that people see of me out during those 31 days wasn't out partying. You don't see drinks in my hand.
This is while her kid's missing.
I was there actually working. I was there helping Tony promote.
Can we point out that
you don't see drinks, but you do see my breasts halfway out of my dress.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Instead of partying, now it's work. I was there doing promotion. I was doing promotion work.
Because what you call it? Because there's no photographs of her drinking. Therefore, you guys are just getting this totally wrong and totally crazy. It's wild what they'll platform on a major network. But yeah, apparently she was a promoter and she worked at Universal Studios.
She was actually doing undercover investigation work trying to find her kid.
I like
her. Can you imagine your kid is missing and you're like, even with any other job, you're going to call out of work. You're not going to go to work if your kid's missing. You would say, hey, listen, my kid's missing. I can't go to work. Everybody would
But her dad told her. Her dad told her out.
That's true.
Just imagine your cat's missing. You know, how many people would go to work if your freaking cat is missing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She doesn't care.
And by the way, there are like messages and supporting information of her contacting her friends about how she felt like her kid was ruining her life. And like she wasn't able to go out because she always has to deal with this stupid kid and all of that. So, you know, that's all out there and public. And, you know, they could talk about it in the documentary, but weirdly enough, it's not very much mentioned.
Was it brief? No. During the 31 days, I genuinely believed that Kaylee was still alive. My father kept telling me she was okay. I just had to keep following his instructions.
Why?
There were no threats. I just knew that I had to do what he wanted me to do, in the same reason that I knew that since the time I was 8 years old. Just do what he wants. It worked before, do it now.
So you shut down, you became robotic.
Did what I needed to do to survive. People out
She was in danger.
In a bathroom, alone, trying to pull yourself together. You can never see behind closed doors unless someone chooses to let you in.
Think about that. You might see photos of her partying and smiling and all that when her kid is missing, but did they take any of those photos when she was crying in the bathroom? No. Checkmate.
What a weird exchange way to put that. I don't understand this lady. How does she think anybody's going to believe this?
Well, I mean, you know, like people do believe it, and this kind of propaganda does work. How many cases
the power
of television?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just look at her. I mean, just look at the way she's kind of styled, like very little like very natural makeup. She just like kind of looks like, you know, really, they've definitely like kind of toned her down.
You want to know what I'm spotting here? Every time she talks in this interview right here in her car, she's staring at the rearview mirror in between as she speaks. So I don't know if there's somebody standing in the back seat that she's looking at or something. But...
She's looking for her father. He might kill her next.
Yeah, right. I can't talk. He's going to come after me.
No, so I think she's staring in the rearview mirror because she's trying to like maintain eye contact with the camera because if she might feel like, oh, if you're flickering or whatever, then you're going to look guilty. However, she looks way more guilty just constantly staring at the rearview mirror.
It's like she's over concentrating on something when she talks.
Yeah. But, you know, I would love for the body language guys to break this down, but I will say that the way that they're cutting it makes it hard for you to do a body language analysis. Like it's very stylized. All right, let me just get to the end of this little clip right here.
I was in contact with my father daily, but whether or not I saw him at the house or we talked on the phone, check my cell phone records. The phone records, my phone pings had me calling Hope Spring Drive again and again and again when my mom was at work.
And what were you saying to him?
I just wanted answers. When am I going to see her? How much longer are we going to keep doing this? Is she okay? That I remember.
I remember.
And what would he say?
That I remember. Nothing else.
Just keep doing what I'm telling you to do. You guys will be reunited soon. That
people don't talk like this. It totally seems written down. Like people just don't talk like this.
I need you to look as suspicious as possible.
Yeah.
And that way I'll reunite you with your daughter.
You will be reunited soon. Like the fathers talk to their kids. Like that seems odd to me. Just seems unnatural.
Did she testify at her own trial?
No.
Yeah, I would say there's a reason for that.
Yeah, there's probably a good reason for that.
Oh my god! But yeah, just keep doing what you need to do. Like
keep partying, keep going out, keep not telling telling everyone she's with the nanny.
He told me to act naturally and do what I normally do, so I went out and got drunk every day. That's what
right. They told me to. It's so crazy.
It's like, okay, so according to Casey, the reason that she didn't report her daughter missing for 31 days, the reason why she Googled how to get rid of like dead body smell and all these other suspicious things was that her dad took Kaylee from her for some reason, and then ordered her to go live with some dude and his roommates, hook up and party. And all while this was happening, she was crying in the bathroom. So don't worry, she was definitely feeling like it. But she had to keep this front up 24/7 in front of everybody else. So that way her dad wouldn't find out because reasons. Like,
it doesn't add up.
It's just outrageous. This thing is outrageous. Really outrageous. I mean, usually these innocents, I mean, it just seems like they're just going to, like, these innocence fraud documentaries are going beyond. They go to a certain level. Now they're just gone beyond. Like, this is outrageous. Totally outrageous. There's no balance to it.
Right.
Like, why don't they have the detective kind of like, look, she's lying, or some kind of balance? It's just this is just the liar's story and propping it up too. It's unreal.
Yeah, I mean, it's very questionable. We've seen like these kind of documentaries before, but the thing is, it's like it seems so gratuitous because she already beat the case. Like she already won, but like, in order to get you to sign up for Peacock, they're putting this stuff out there.
This is like that OJ book. If I did it,
yeah.
You guys read that?
No, but I remember when that was going to come out.
Yeah, I came into Oprah when I was working at Oprah. I got a free copy of it. I read it. It's all about him and his friend Charlie committing the crime.
Yes, I've heard that. I think I've heard that.
So real.
Did you ever see the clips of him reading the audiobook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I've seen. I've seen him reading the audiobook.
Yeah.
Charlie, you're going crazy. What's happening? You killed 2 people. Charlie, what'd you do?
Oh my god. All right, I gotta get through this clip, but I'm gonna go back a little bit so you can see her like angst in her face.
How much longer are we going to keep doing this? Is she okay? That I remember.
And what would he say?
He would tell me she was fine. Just keep doing what I'm telling you to do. You guys will be reunited soon. That's what sticks with me. He told me at one point we would be reunited soon.
Oh my god.
Did he describe where Kaylee was or what she was doing?
No. Wouldn't tell me anything. I would ask if he knew where she was, and he would just tell me she was safe. When you're physically afraid of another human being.
Can't imagine what mother does that. Let someone else just have their kid, even if it's their dad.
Stay and do what they wanted you to stay and do.
And just say it's safe. Like that doesn't work.
Even as an adult, you're still going to revert right back to it.
So you really believed he would have kidnapped?
So,
come on now.
So she's basically like, my dad, great guy. He would come into my bedroom since I was 8 years old and assault me repeatedly until I was 12 years old. Then I guess he passed the torch to her brother. Again, this is all in episode 1 of the documentary. Maybe we'll go over some of those clips, but YouTube's a little dubious about that. Now, so that's the person that she just turned over custody of her daughter to for 31 days. And then she decided during the course of that time that she was going to just party because her dad told her to. And now they haven't even got into it yet, but it's actually her saying, or the person doing the documentary is asking her, do you really believe he would have kidnapped your daughter from you if you had, like, gone to the police or done anything sensible? Which is absurd because effectively she's saying that he already kidnapped the daughter from her.
Right. It's almost a soft kidnapping. It's like he didn't really snatch her away. It's like, oh yeah, I'm taking care of her. She's fine. She's safe. Right? It's like what he's doing. It's like a soft kidnapping. But what mother is going to do that, right? And have their father take a kid for a month and just never see their kid for a month and just have him say oh no, she's safe. And that mother's going to be okay with it. Like,
but what sticks out to her, I don't know if you know, is that he said at one point, you'll be reunited. That's what sticks out to her.
And then on top of that, from a father that she's saying molested her or, was abusive towards her, but yet she believed him. Oh yeah, no, she's safe. Your daughter's safe. It's fine.
But what do you think about that phrase? You'll be reunited. Mm-hmm. That means to me, when people say that to a mother, you'll be reunited. Most often, that's in context of death.
Yeah,
Don't worry, you'll be reunited with your daughter again.
Death or missing,
and boy, is that telling that she's using that phrase, reunited. Yeah. Oh, he told me you didn't think reunited. You'll see her soon. Wouldn't that be the more?
Yeah, that would make more sense.
And don't ask any questions. She's safe. Like, of course, like I just love psychopaths when they lie. They think that they're trying to mimic normal behavior.
Right.
And she's saying, oh, well, he told me that she was safe. So, of course, as a mother, I wasn't going to have any more questions. What mother doesn't have any more? Oh, she's safe? Is she sleeping okay? How's she eating? What can you, like, especially with a toddler. Mm-hmm. How's she feeling? Did you love it? What's going on? She didn't have any more questions. It was more important for her to go out and party.
And for 31 days, maybe you could say maybe for 3 days, 4 days.
Right, exactly.
31 days, you're not going to raise any alarms on that? So
I got to track down there's in episode 1, they play her first 911 call to her parents. And just hearing the difference in how she sounds and what she's talking about versus what her parents are interested in is startling. So I think I might go to that clip after this. But again, like, this is a story that makes no sense. And like, not only did NBC platform this on their streaming service and use this to sell their streaming service, but you have the people involved in the documentary explaining why, even though this is the dumbest thing that you could have heard about the case, that actually it does make sense because reasons. So like, these people, the people making the filmmakers, like the people making this are the target audience. They're dumb enough to be the target audience for Casey Anthony because they're like, oh yeah, sensible. Yeah, totally reasonable. Yeah, wow. What a great story.
What's scarier to me is that we're getting to a point where we're just platforming these really creepy, dark people and making them out to be victims and asking humanity to, or the American public to sympathize with them. I find that very dark.
All right, I'm going to try to wrap this clip because I think this is where I wanted to go. By the way, this episode's called Remembering because she's remembering her abuse.
From you and put you through all of that. That made sense to you that he would do that. At the time it did. It just seems incredible. For 31 days, you're still in that space of...
I was still in that space even a couple weeks later when I was in jail. Hopeful.
What's your gut telling you right now? You have the telling me that she's okay. Okay, and your gut tells you that she's close or something.
Look at her dad's face, so sinister.
She's not far. I know in my heart she's not far. I can feel it. Okay.
A mother always knows.
Is that her mom on the phone talking to her?
Yeah, that's her mom and her father right there, the one they're pointing the finger at.
Her mom looks like she doesn't believe her. Her mom looks so confused as to what she's saying. Like, what?
Oh, they definitely don't believe her. And by the way, she's hamming it up here. This isn't the first phone call that I was referring to. This is a later one. But yeah, I'll play a tiny bit more of this, and then I'll try to find the clip. By the way, she's cute right there. Not saying anything.
My mom is asking me if I think Kaylee's okay, and I tell her yes, but I'm looking at my father. because I wanted to believe it so bad. I really wanted to believe it.
Look how they line up the shot.
Disassociation. Maybe that's the trying to protect myself from the pain of having known deep down. All along that something happened and I didn't want to confront it. I don't know.
This is so absurd.
I regret every day that I didn't come forward about what he did to me. I regret every day that I lied to my mom during that time because I didn't know what to say, to do.
By the way, she's painted
it was a simple.
She's painted her mom as in on the molestation and all that. Like when she told her mom that her brother and the father were molesting her, the mom apparently looked her dead in the face and said, "Well, that's why you're a whore." So you know that's what you go. That's her mom. That now she's saying she wishes she would have told. You know, this totally trustworthy person. It's so wild. I you know, and by the way, she says she was like looking at her father in there. She wasn't looking at her father there. Like it's just not true. Her dad could barely look at her because like she sounds hella guilty, and you know they probably were filled in after she was arrested about how guilty she was. It was already in the news that she took forever to report.
Yeah, he looks super disappointed. He looks super disappointed. He's just like looking down at the floor, like just disappointed that a child of his would do something like that.
The body language just speaks so much. The mother's there with the phone, like a gun, like holding it, like what did you do? The father's like, oh, geez, and Casey's like, it's a shame. I mean, to me, that's like, don't yell at me. I don't want to answer any more questions. If I just cry and look cute, maybe you won't press.
You look at the mother. You look at her mother, that she looks so confused at everything she's saying. Like she's just asking her these questions. Yeah, she's reacting. Like, she just looks like, what? Like, what does this mean? What are you saying?
I think the father kind of accepted that Casey did this thing, but the mother was in denial until they found the body.
Right. But she was going to ask the question. She was going to find out, like ask the questions. Like, where is she? Where is this nanny? Zanny the nanny.
Yeah. And by the way, I haven't found the exact portion from episode 1 that I was trying to find with the first 911 call, but I do want to play this just muted for a second because there's people denying that Casey Anthony's attractive, and they're just wrong. Like this is part of the appeal. I just want you to look at some of her.
That's why I was saying earlier. I don't think she's super attractive, but she does have that girl next door kind of look to her. You know.
She doesn't look like a killer that we want to.
In general, for a person who's like a murderer on television for being a murderer, she's good looking.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm hoping we can see the perp walks and all that, so you guys can understand what I mean. Because this is what made the case like national attention. This is why she's able to profit off of this. There's like people that are like, "Oh, she's mid." Again, we're comparing her to like the usual suspects in terms of criminals, like So I think I went too far back. It's like these people are so like. They're so weird. Like, I'm not saying she's a supermodel.
Yeah. We're not comparing her to Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out that prison friend thing that you sent me, Roberta. I just saw that message. But yeah, damn it! I thought I found her thing. Okay, I think it's more like right here. Oh wait, is this a 911 call? Oh, it is. I found it on accident. Right. Hooray! We gotta play this. Sorry. All right, let's see if I got it. Oh my god! Listen, I'm running this all off the laptop.
Caring for the young girl, it is just one more element in a strange story that has even the woman's own mother concerned.
Kid's cute too.
Maybe she's confused. Maybe she's sick. Maybe something's happened that she doesn't know.
Yeah, this is a call.
Hello? Hello, this is a free call from Casey. An inmate from the Orange County Correctional Center. Casey? Mom. Hey, sweetie.
Like, look at her. That's arrest time.
I just saw your nice little cameo on TV. You don't know what my involvement is and stuff? I don't know what your involvement is, sweetheart. You're not telling me where she's at. Because I don't fucking know where she's at. Are you kidding me? How come everybody's saying that you're not upset, that you're not crying, that you show no caring of where Kaylee is at all? I'm not sitting here fucking crying every 2 seconds because I have to stay composed to talk to detectives, to make other phone calls, to do other things. I can't sit here and be crying every 2 seconds like I want to. I can't.
Like I want to.
Yeah, like
that's the first time Casey called her family from the jail.
You don't know my involvement.
As upset and worried about her daughter as her mother and her friend were.
This guy's like
I
case
think
closed.
This is her being herself.
So what happens when you don't know prison calls are being recorded, and too many of these dumb idiots don't know that?
I mean, you hear how how she talked to her mom was almost like she's mad that her mom wasn't covering for her or something. It's just, you don't know my involvement, like a bratty child talking to her.
That's like a street tactic. Like throw it back on the mom. How dare you question me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding it together. I'm doing important things.
Right.
What's wrong with you to question me? Like it's really that's a street.
Yeah, that's exactly why she called, because she saw her mom's cameo on the news, and she was upset about what her mom said on the news. And
it was the first thing she said.
What's funny, she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to cry over her every 2 seconds because I have other things to do."
Yeah, like
because that's what a loving mother would say. I got other things to do besides look for my child who's been missing for a month.
There's other things more important than my child at the moment. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. It's
that was
so
the
crazy.
first thing she said. She acts as if I saw your little thing on the television or whatever. The first thing she says to her mom, she doesn't say, "Oh, have you heard anything about the baby? Have they found anything?"
Yeah, I mean,
straight to I saw you on TV and what you said, and I'm mad about it.
Sean and Alf, everybody reacts to tragedy differently.
Yes, true. You never know.
How about that? There's no perfect victim.
That's
By
right.
the way, look at her in the purple walk. She looks super cute right there. That's why people got into it.
Give me
they were like, "Oh, Casey Anthony, no way." Like, she's so pretty. I mean,
but she's not even crying there when they're bringing her to the police car.
Yeah, and they arrested her initially for just lying to the detectives because she said that she worked at this Orlando place, Universal Studios, and she didn't. Look at her hair. Very nice looking.
He's almost smiling there.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I think the big reason she got away with it is because of the decomposition. Is Kaylee's body was so decomposed, they couldn't find out how she died. And so all this works. I mean, we may be making fun of it, but all of it really worked in the favor of Casey Anthony.
Honestly,
doesn't make her look good. It makes her look very suspicious, but
I thought they did it right. I mean, all you really have to do is convince the jury that there's reasonable doubt. You don't have to convince them that she's innocent. You just have to convince them that there's doubt of her guilt. That's it.
Right. My friend was just on a cocaine case, the middle one, and they all voted for innocence, and I couldn't believe this was like my bestie girlfriend because she's such a judgmental person in the best way, but they said basically we couldn't prove that this guy knew he was picking up cocaine. It's like, what do you think he thought it was? We're like, well, we couldn't prove it. We just let him go.
Did you take into account that he was making a cake and needed flour?
I know. I was like, I just could not believe. She's like, but that must have been some defense attorney.
Yeah.
He always bought flour from the trunk of somebody's car.
They got the best flour on the streets.
Yeah. No, it's this whole thing is wild, and the way that they play up the images of the daughter, it's very like exploitative of her. The fact is, like, this woman got a tattoo while her kid was missing, and she was and she's like, "Oh, I just had to do everything, like normal and all that." It's like you can look at like what she's doing during like the time that this is all going down. And it's like, this is all to make your father, like this omnipresent force, not suspicious and not kidnap your daughter. Like, this is the dumbest story I've ever seen. Like, it's so bad. I wish I could say that, but I feel like Kim Kardashian might have, like, pushed dumber stories. But, I mean, look at this nonsense. Like, It's so wild. Oh, I muted it. My apologies. Let me unmute.
I'll be working late, so we'll be staying over tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
And looking at her desktop calendars, Casey was much busier and much more socially active after the 16th.
Yeah.
When we looked at the photo bucket account, you could see the lifestyle that she was living.
Oh, there's drinks.
Partying and hanging out.
Yep.
During the 31 days, Casey ended up stealing a checkbook from a friend, Amy Huizinga.
You've already filed an online.
Oh my God!
In regards to theft of checks.
Yeah, this is where she blames her dad for her stealing.
Casey was using funds that did not belong to her. You know, you see her going into stores, no child with her, not buying things that a mother would be buying for a child.
Do you see any booze right there, guys?
I have.
Do you see any booze right there?
God. She just bought a case of Bud Light, a 30 pack.
I do think this was a little judgmental and probably sexist when he said she wasn't buying things that a mother would buy.
Buying things that a mother.
I mean, that's perfectly normal right there, that Bud Light.
Mm-hmm. Every mother should have a case of Bud Light in the fridge. You never know.
This is quite literally, by the way, episode 1. And when she says there's no drinks or anything like that, that's episode 2. They showed an image of her holding a bucket of like beer, like, you know, like one of those giant pictures of it. Here she's buying beer, but they let her lie and leave it in there in episode 2.
If you look, the next thing the girl's about to ring up on the other side of the scanner is a 6-pack or something. So it's like more
she's just boozing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's crazy. Now, I mean, I'm just saying, by the way, I think she's actually single for those of you who are interested. And obviously she likes to party and no kids, not saying anything.
Yeah. Please wear a condom.
And her tattoo said La Bella Vita, meaning the good life.
Yeah,
I mean, if that's not a celebration, the beautiful life. If that's not a celebration of the life that she's going to live without her daughter, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen, Roberto, you're jumping ahead because she's about to explain that tattoo, and you're going to feel so dumb.
She's gonna. When she dunks on me with this amazing explanation for her tattoo.
Yeah, you're going to be like, oh, God, what a bad person I am.
It would be buying for a child. Nothing. I have here that the 3rd of July is when she gets that tattoo, Bella Vita. That means the good life.
Look at that.
Your child is missing. How do you get a tattoo?
Her dad made
billboard
her get
showing the world I'm living the perfect life. Who does that? And then the activity picked up for Tony Lazzaro. Tony Lazzaro was Casey Anthony's boyfriend at the time that Kaylee went missing.
She could do
when
better.
When they first met, Kaylee was always with Casey.
But remember, she had a kid.
I just think, boom, it stopped. You know, and that being around the same time in the time frame where she started staying with him. So we interviewed Tony Lazzaro and many friends about this.
Because they're trying to paint this girl as innocent and he was banging a killer of a baby?
Yeah.
My name is Clint House. I was
Clint House.
Former roommate.
Hold on. Well, yeah, this guy needs fame or whatever. But I'm
you
trying
know,
to
her
find
friends had to have been asking her, like, "Oh, how's your daughter? Where's your daughter? You're staying at this guy's house all the time." Somebody had to have asked, like, "How's your daughter doing? Who's taking care of her?"
They probably didn't even know she had a daughter. I'm gonna try to find her tattoo explanation.
Depends how long they were friends with her.
By the way, there's like animated graphics up in here. I forgot to mention this.
They look really bad too. They look like 1990s CGI or something.
Yeah, you gotta look at this nonsense. Like,
who just wrote in the comments? Can you explain? Can you explain your tramp stamp?
I need a 3-page essay on your tramp stamp.
Oh my God. They're definitely going to explain it though. I just gotta find where she does it. I thought it was closer to there, but like, oh, come on, Casey, where are you at? Oh, there's like an interview with her father. Oh, please, yes. Okay, so they're back to the tattoo.
That baby is a hard drinking baby.
She mixes booze in the bottle to drug the baby.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Somebody's like, "Get the PS1 cutscene." Like they're not having those graphics, but yeah, we gotta get
it
this.
does look like 90s graphics. They're terrible.
So like they tell you the tattoo thing, and then I think like 15 minutes go by before they cut to her explanation, and like I think it's because it's so ridiculous that she got this tattoo while her kid was missing that they needed space between the detective telling you and her explaining it. But when you see it, it's just unreal.
Normal thing would have been to say, I need help. But I didn't know how to say that.
Oh.
She
Is that her explanation?
No.
I hope not.
He said she was looking for her missing daughter. We don't know if that's true, but we do know this. Casey got a tattoo.
Laura Ingraham. Get ready for it. She sighs like a YouTuber.
Tattoo.
Bella Vita, that was my fuck you to my family.
Oh my god.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I spent my entire life protecting our perfect, beautiful little family and acting like I had this enviable life. And in a lot of ways, and again, this is after going through therapy and trying to explain why I got the tattoo in the first place, especially during that time period. Because that was a subconscious way for me to speak out against all of it.
Dramatic pauses. She can't even look at the camera when she says it.
My flawed and fucked up family and my flawed and fucked up life.
All right, I gotta pause it here.
Of what my life really was,
because there's like a little additional thing that she's gonna add, but just think about that. Like she got this like life is perfect or life is great tattoo, whatever it translates to. I already forgot.
Mm-hmm. Hey, all of that works.
Huh?
I said it all works, whichever way you want to put it. It's not
so
direct translation, right? But it works the same.
She got that days after her daughter went missing, after she stole a checkbook. So she stole the money for this as a way to give an FU to her family, who, by the way, she was so scared of the father doing something to the daughter at this period of time that she didn't want to do anything out of the ordinary. And that's why she was going out and partying.
But subconsciously, she got a tattoo to make a statement about her family.
I would love to see the outtakes of this. It just seems so rehearsed and like she's been practicing this. Like if I stick out my elbows like this and if I tuck my hair behind my ears, do I look sad? Do I look sad now and angry? I wanted to get a tattoo that gives my family the middle finger, but I didn't want the middle finger. And I didn't. I picked The Beautiful Life because my family would definitely understand that. It doesn't even make any sense. Like,
no, she also talks about doing it subconsciously. Who talks like that? Who says that? Oh, subconsciously I did this. The point of subconsciousness is that you don't know you're doing it for that, right?
Exactly.
It makes no sense to say.
Yeah. Somebody pointed out that he watched the trial and she looked up how to suffocate somebody on her internet search.
Foolproof. She was looking at foolproof suffocation.
Yes,
that was one of the things. They didn't. The prosecution didn't have access to that search at the time of the trial. But one of the things that she was looking up were like foolproof suffocation and other really creepy stuff. She was also chloroform was one of the things that, of course, her mother said she was looking at chlorophyll film. Because of the dogs, but chloroform came up. But it really matches what the prison buddy said she was doing. Certainly, drugging your daughter.
I'll also say there's more to this that's going to get even more absurd. Just so you know.
Oh, cracking a neck! I think snapping a neck is one of the other things was on that.
My God.
That was all because of her father. He told her to search those things.
Yeah. Don't quote me. It was something to that effect. I mean, don't quote me. I remember foolproof suffocation, but something about cracking necks.
I have to talk about the composition of this, by the way. She's at a very small table. It looks like a table where a child would color in a coloring book. And I find that really odd because they're talking about a tattoo, but I feel like it's intentional on behalf of the filmmaker. Like, just saying. But you gotta, there's more to this tattoo story.
The tattoo on the inside of my arm. I hear your voice in all the sounds of the world. That also translates to noise. It just means I hear you in everything. That is my Kaylee tribute tattoo.
Oh my God. No way. She just said that.
Everything about her was perfect.
Oh my God. Come on. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel really stupid, Roberta, for suggesting?
I do. I'm just like
with evidence of guilt.
Stupid me, but just when she talks with this kind of emphatic tone, she really looks a little scary. I think she went. She was going for intensity. She just she missed and went. And when she went to scary, I mean, she looks scary here. That's for Kaylee.
Yeah. You're right. It did come out great.
Does she give you guys the creeps? Right?
Yeah, it didn't come out the way she meant it to, for sure.
That is my Kaylee tattoo.
That is my Kaylee tattoo. Like all deep and dramatic.
It's like it seems so obvious that she got criticized for this tattoo while her daughter was missing. So she's like, let me get another tattoo. By the way, that has nothing to do with Kaylee. One of this girl's friends, her like friend since high school, has a tattoo with Kaylee's name on it. But she has some stupid ass like empty quote that could be anything.
Yeah.
But you know, I got to play this one more time just so everybody can ingest this because it is amazing.
Flawed and fucked up family and my flawed and fucked up life.
Hold on. Wait.
It was the antithesis of what my life really was.
I just want to get the tattoo part
tattoo
out.
On the inside of my arm. I hear your voice in all the sounds of the world.
Dramatic
it also
pause.
Translates to noise. It just means I hear you in everything.
Pause.
That is my Kaylee tribute tattoo.
Oh my God.
I just like to
Everything
point
about
out
her was perfect.
that she's calling her father, her family flawed. This is the family that killed her daughter, kidnapped and killed her daughter. Would you use the word flawed?
Yeah, flawed.
Flawed is my family. I mean, everyone's family is flawed. There's no perfect families. Wouldn't you say my murderous baby killing father? My
Or
murderous.
evil.
She's gonna call them flawed. That's awfully nice. It almost seems like she wants to give a little bit of a break to the person that killed Kaylee.
Listen, Roberta, listen. Just because her dad like raped her from age 8 to age 12 and then passed it off to her brother, who then continued the raping, and then they kidnapped and then made her go out and party for a month while they held her and then killed her daughter, doesn't mean that's not just like the flaws that everybody has in their life. You know, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Why wouldn't you just call that flawed? Yeah, it's unreal.
Also, so like one of the things that I didn't go over, it's in the beginning, is they actually brought her into a rental house in order to stage all this. So she brought things to the place in order for them to be presented before the camera. So when you see her with these like framed sonogram images right here, like she had to consciously bring boxes that weren't all her stuff because she's not living in the home that they're filming in. And in the boxes of the items that she selected were these framed sonogram photos. So like everything here is incredibly staged.
Yep.
And by the way, she said that she did this because of she cared about her roommate's privacy. Like that's why they're doing that. That's why she made NBC rent her a house.
These were my sonogram photos.
So sad.
These were the two that I asked to have printed. And you can see the outline, perfect outline of her hand, her nose, her eyes, her arms, the bones in her arm. I was 6.5 months pregnant almost.
Oh, here we
when
go.
We were able to do this.
Did people know you were pregnant at that point?
It was hard not to tell, but some of the people closest to me were telling people not only that I wasn't pregnant, I was just sedentary, had a sedentary position. That was what my nurse mother told people. Why?
My whore mother.
I don't know. Maybe she was embarrassed that her daughter was pregnant. I don't know. Blatantly pregnant and still saying no because that's what we had all agreed to. Even my coworkers at the time. And they're like, well, you're pregnant. And I kind of hesitate and go, what?
It's never her fault. It's her coworker's fault. The fact that she was lying about being pregnant, it was their coworker's fault. And her mother's fault because her mother was calling her sedentary and thinking maybe she put on a few when she was lying about being pregnant, and her mother thought she was fat.
Yeah,
that's your story.
And well, they consciously made her lie, and like she even lied to her coworkers, and her coworkers were also in it. But like she's about to go into how no lie was off limits. Like they would tell the most she would tell the most outrageous lies because she learned that from her family. And like this is episode 1, and then they expect you to believe her for 2 more episodes of this show.
Wow.
Like, I mean, Jesus.
She's saying they all agreed to lie.
This is another level. I knew it was going to be bad, but I thought it would be Casey Anthony doing her usual, song and dance line. But it's
incredible.
This is the filmmakers helping her and making it look legitimate.
I mean, just
bad.
Just look at how like that again. Just think about how that was composited, and remember what I told you in right before this is that this is not her house. They say it in the beginning of the documentary. They show it on text, right? Like she does not live here. Like they set this up. She lives with some roommate, probably some dude, right? But you have a shot of her putting these photos next to her bed as if she keeps the sonogram photos by her bed. She does not live here. That's not her bed. That's not where her photos are. They set up this scene so that she could look like she's doing that. Like the whole thing is sick.
Unreal.
Alf, would you?
Would I watch Sleeper? I guess so. I mean, she's not that much younger than me, I guess.
But what do you think of the staging and all the shots?
Yeah, it's totally set up to look like in her favor, like they're trying to help her out. It seems like Roberto was saying that it seems like the filmmakers are trying to help her out of this and trying to line up these shots in a certain way to make her look more favorable. Or
I like Rich G's comment. He's like, "What? You don't bring frame the pictures
everywhere you go?" Yeah, that's weird. And it's like pictures of earlier. They're showing her looking at pictures of like the sonogram images. The child was born. There's pictures of the child alive. Why would you look at sonogram images if you have actual pictures of her?
Isn't it weird that she's bringing up the bones in her daughter's arm? I've never heard a parent say, "Oh, can't you see the face? Can't you?" She's talking about the bones when Kaylee was found. She was found as bones, basically degraded. And she's like, "See, you can." She's like, she gets some pleasure. It's like, I made my daughter just bones, and you can see the bones here. The bones.
Listen, I mean,
it's
I don't know.
Psycho moment.
Yeah,
I don't know how much of this you could stomach, but if you want, we can go to the sections of this where she's looking at the photos of her daughter, like trying to cry for the camera. Because that is also in this thing. Like, but yeah, it's super weird. It's super sketchy, and NBC is really setting her up like to be the victim in this. Like, oh my God, I think it actually might be right here. I could see it. The Peacock streaming service doesn't work too well. Very, very disappointed in it. Episode 1 is Why I Lie. And it's all dramatic, and she's doing those pauses in how she talks. It's very staged. It's the pregnant pauses.
I was at a house party.
Oh no, I'm not getting into this. No, sorry.
Had a couple beers.
No, Casey, no.
Is this something bad that happened to her that someone did to her? I may be bad for lying, but everybody else is worse. Is that the theme of this documentary?
Yeah. So she tried to make some guy trick him into being the father of the kid. He got a paternity test, found out he's not. Well, guess what? Like, she was drugged and raped, according to herself now. So Kaylee's a rape baby, just so you know. Like, according to this new story.
Well,
isn't that just a story for the people like me and maybe you who think she's guilty to say, well, that's really why I killed her, is because she reminded me of my...
And that way you have some sympathy. If you do believe she's guilty, at least you'll have sympathy for her there.
Yeah. It's super... Because, like, the more that came out about her, the more that she lied. The stealing, all these other things, the paternity fraud. Everything that she did, like, showed that she had a pattern of abusive behavior and thinking only of herself. So it's like, okay, I got caught by a guy trying to play him up as the father, and he was involved in my kid's life for a significant amount of time and throughout the pregnancy because he believed it. So therefore, I have to come up with an excuse for why I did that. So it's like, oh, it was actually because I was the victim in another way, and I didn't tell anyone or anything like that. And by the way, one of her second story after that guy got the paternity test was that it was an old friend who lived in another state who died. So, like, another lie that, like, you know, you pinned it on a dead person. So this is what she does. And she said she didn't even explain it to the guy who she really loved and all that, you know, after he discovered that he wasn't the father, because she was just so ashamed. Somebody's like, her dad was a detective and didn't figure it out. But yeah, so I just want you to see this.
Dang, it's so fucked up. It's just years of
all these F-bombs.
Feeling like I needed to live a certain life or show people I lived a certain life because I didn't want people to pity me.
No.
And I didn't want my kid growing up thinking she was this product
Period.
of something so bad.
Yeah, I should have just paused it right there. I didn't want my kid growing up.
I didn't want my kid growing up, period.
The end of sentence.
She's very emotional. Notice the way she has her eyebrows positioned.
Yeah, look at the eyebrows. Yeah, it's very forced into the upward position.
But this is where the photos come in. And by the way, this is how they're closing out episode 1. Like, so the big explanation for all her lies is she was raped, supposedly.
I don't know how long I can do this.
I love when people do the wiping their eyes thing because they're crying, but there's no tears coming out.
Yesterday.
Oh, no, there is.
That's part of the reason why it's so hard to look back.
So hard to look back.
I miss this. I miss her. Every second of every day.
I'm gonna like hack this up, like, you know, screen record so much of this and hack this up and play her saying I missed her every second of every day versus her telling her mom, like, I had other things to do, Mom. Like,
yeah.
God, Mom.
Mm-hmm. And her partying while her daughter's missing.
Yeah.
It just,
oh my God.
Just everything feels so staged. Like, here you'll wear a T-shirt and you'll pull back your hair and you'll rub your eye, and you'll wear your glasses here. Take out your contacts, wear your glasses for your read. It just feels very staged to me, and to make her look like just a grieving mom, and yet you still feel nothing when she cries. And so.
Why does she own like the largest pair of glasses on the market? Like,
yeah, that's got super huge.
What's the reason behind that?
It's so weird, yeah. It's so odd.
I need to block out the blue light. Oh my God. But I mean, come on. Look, this is like mouth, hand up to the mouth and all that. And she could be crying because, you know, she feels bad for killing her kid. But that's little, like, she's going hard for it.
That little, like, trying to swallow.
It's not because I don't want to. It's just it hurts.
And you don't.
Physically fucking hurts.
Physically. She does have big teeth.
Everything to me. It always will be everything. This is all I have left. This is all I have left of her.
Why'd she touch her necklace like that?
She's saying that necklace is all she has left of her?
Did she
Does
turn her
anyone know what that necklace is?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. It looked like there was a star at the end of it. I'm not too sure.
Do you think she turned her daughter into a diamond, like people do with a dog with the ashes?
Did she convert to Judaism? Is it
or did she put like some of it in a locket or something?
Don't say that she converted to Judaism, guys.
It's like
I'm just hopeful. I'm hopeful.
She found the light.
Very interesting.
This is all I have left. What is this setup with the dual monitors and like all this? Like what's going on here?
What are those things with the yellow stuff on it? It looks like little plates with like sliced cheese on it.
I don't even know what's going. Maybe they're covering up the logo, like it's like Post-its over the logo,
maybe.
like they
right.
can't show it. But what's interesting is that you can actually see that this is clearly a rental home because look at how like blank and empty this room is.
Everything's just white and plain.
Like they didn't have the money to decorate this, but they had the money to decorate that. Imagine those are Post-it notes with like text that tells her what to say.
Yeah. Look here, or maybe it tells her when to look there. Look here at this time.
Such a strange setup with the dual monitors and all that. Clearly, the equipment of the person. Somebody's like, she's dual wielding. Jesus. Oh my god!
This is probably the setup of the production company, and they're asking her to come into there. Yeah. Where's her lawyer? Is a good question too.
Where's the lawyer that traded sex with Casey Anthony for legal fees? I guess he doesn't want to answer that.
Did that guy get
I doubt he wanted to come on this.
Did he get disbarred or did he get like a medal?
He was.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. She was smart to go with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked in the end.
Yep.
You know, parents supposed to survive their kid. If this is all I have left.
This really does seem like television acting, like broadcast television. Law and Order.
Oh, God. It just fucking hurts.
Yeah, she's a bad guest star of the week.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's the
I don't think I can say that enough. It just hurts.
It was like CSI Miami.
It hurts so hard.
I lied. But no one asked why. No one cared why I lied.
What?
Except that was the first thing they asked.
Insane that she said that.
It's
why I lied.
It's kind of the whole basis of the case. Now.
Yeah, exactly. It's the entire basis of the case.
By the way,
acting there really reminded me of like CSI Miami or something, like a really bad guest star that came in.
I mean, this has to be a money or ego thing, right? Like why she's here, because like it has to be like either she thinks she can convince you, maybe she's trying to launch an OnlyFans, maybe she's trying to gain some fame, or like NBC just made her an offer that like she couldn't refuse financially.
Yeah.
Because
she's
like
not an executive producer or anything on this, is she?
I'm not yet. By the way, in the beginning of the documentary, I'm just gonna say that she calls herself an advocate for people who are wrongly charged with crimes and portrayed as guilty in the media.
Right. She can't say wrongly convicted because she wasn't wrongly convicted. She was accused and acquitted.
Yeah.
I mean, charged and acquitted. Right.
Somebody's like, her acting career never panned out, so she faked a job at Universal. Like, she's like, Universal Studios, you know.
She's supposed to be warning people that you too could kill somebody, get charged with it, and get off with it. This is a terrible fate of that could happen to you.
Yeah.
You could actually be charged with something you did and get off.
It's pretty sad.
Wrongly acquitted. Thank you.
Her lawyer went on to defend
the wrongful
Aaron
acquitment movement.
Wrongful acquitted.
Maybe we should start that, Sean. Now,
Yeah.
the wrongfully acquitted movement.
I mean, apparently her lawyer was the same guy who defended Aaron Hernandez in that, and I'm assuming because it's that case in Florida is the one he won. You know.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, let me see if there's anything else here before I gotta wrap this.
When Casey was out
of
jail,
I do
time
have that
of her being
link.
arrested. It was before they charged her with Kaylee's murder. I went over there and I stayed the night. I asked some questions like, "Where's Kaylee? Where what's going on? Why didn't you tell anybody?" "Oh, I'm just doing what they told me to do. Just saying what they tell me to say."
She said everything she's been saying is something that she was told to say. Someone's told her.
Who?
She didn't say.
Who's they?
Right. She did say that they're telling me I'm doing what they tell me to do. I don't know who they is, though.
The first non-binary involved in a homicide all the way back in 2008.
I don't know who they them is.
I mean, look, if I'm not saying anything, but if Casey decides that they is the Jews, then maybe she's the girl that Nick Fuentes has been looking for.
He finally found his perfect one.
Yeah, he's looking to get married. Like, that's what he's saving himself for. Oh my god,
that's funny.
Casey, not the best, not the best advocate for herself, in my opinion.
Really, you really miss Meredith Baxter Burney. Could do a great. Maybe you guys are too young for that. My day, she was like the TV movie queen. Could really have done a great remake of this with Casey playing Casey Anthony. Someone took my daughter, the movie of the week. They took her. Right.
They them took her.
Starring Meredith Baxter Burney.
Do you know where this interview of Casey's cellmate is from?
Oh, like right or what do you mean?
Yeah,
what year?
It's like recorded from like a TV or something.
Yeah, it's really not the greatest, but that's what's left of it, sadly.
Right.
It seems like everybody just copied it. Because I went looking for it, and it used to be everywhere. That interview.
I have to look it up because she is pretty. Like, I can even tell through the low quality of the video. Like, here, I'll just show it on screen right quick, so people could see how she looks. Like, you could tell she's attractive. Like, she's right here.
Oh, yeah, she is.
And she's like East European, like, nice looking lady. But the quality is like very, very dodgy.
I'm sorry about the quality, but what she says is pretty interesting.
Listen, I gotta pop off for like a minute. There are certain things that I need to do, but I will come back. But I'm gonna give control of the wheel to you guys to discuss the case. Anything specifically that I'm leaving out, because I'm definitely joking about the case a little bit too much and how Casey Anthony's pretty. Feel free. You guys take the wheel.
Okay.
I don't recall there ever being a public opinion that she was innocent, right? I remember from back then when everybody thought she was guilty, right?
Right. I don't remember her having the same kind of support that something like Scott Peterson had. And
but
I wonder
also there wasn't this much of this push to like find people innocent back then as there is now, like this all innocent project stuff and all.
Yeah, it's at its height.
It's ramped up now, yeah.
Totally. It's ramped up on steroids. Yeah. So, but still, it was fodder for Nancy Grace. She made Todd. That really is a lame name, but it worked. I nothing against it. I enjoyed Nancy Grace. I know everybody hates her. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I enjoyed her show back in the day. And there's no kind of equivalent to that now.
No, somebody's hard hitting like that. We don't really have that as much anymore.
We don't have a prosecutor who has a show.
Well, we look back and see all the dumb things she's done. So it looks like Nancy Grace is a total idiot. But if she was streaming, she was on TV every day. So there's tons of good stuff she did too. So people just look at it as... There was that I think Sean did something on it where the what was it, the lacrosse team, the Duke lacrosse team. Do you remember that they were accused of raping a woman, a prostitute in the bathroom or something? But it was all lies. But she went hard on those guys. She thought that they were guilty.
Right.
But you know,
and I've never looked into that. Yeah. With I just think that the whole thing with the car smelling of death and she's not bothered. I mean, does anybody have any questions about the case or this thing? But I just think it's freaking nuts that they're going to push a baby killer up. But they did it the same thing with Melissa Lucio. I thought that was crazy. And that worked. Crazy. That stopped her execution. And as soon as they get rid of the death penalty, they're going to go after life without parole. They've already gotten rid of it in most states for juveniles. So if you're a juvenile and you get life without parole, that means you've done something really heinous, meaning your age is such a mitigating factor. But so part of me says, because they do this, they're like, you know, once you overturn one conviction, they're like pigeons, the wrongful conviction movement. Once you feed them, they just keep coming back.
Yeah, they keep looking for it. Yeah,
right. They're looking for a big payout.
They want to find it anywhere they can. But it gets to the point where they stretch things out now, right? And they try to make an innocent case out of a guilty case.
I didn't cover the Crystal Kaiser case. KTZED. But I did do a couple things on Centoya Brown, a couple episodes on her, and I had the same feeling.
They're very similar cases.
And I lost a lot of lost a good deal of my audience for talking about Centoya Brown.
Really?
The way, because I'm very anti-prostitution. And so they thought I'd be like, oh, well, she was trafficked. So, but she shot a sleeping man in the back.
Murder is murder.
Murder is murder. I'm sorry that she prostituted herself, but
with Crystal Kaiser, right after she killed the guy. Kind of thing. With Crystal Kaiser, after she killed the guy, she goes out and goes on Facebook Live and live streams herself talking about, I just killed the guy and I'm stealing his car, like literally confessing to the guy. And then they try to say she's innocent, but she straight up was streaming for her friends saying, oh yeah, look at this new car, I just took it from this guy I killed.
And Centoya Brown did the same thing. She said, I shot the guy just to feel what it felt like to kill somebody, like for fun. She scares me, Centoya Brown.
And then later on,
I worry that she's going to re-offend. And now it's just like you just claimed you're trafficked.
Oh yeah.
And you just say, I was trafficked. Sorry, I killed somebody.
Yeah, she's going to get book deals and all this stuff. She's going to get tons of money.
Crystal Kaiser, did they?
I don't remember if did they let her out. I don't remember. I don't think they did.
I don't think.
No, I don't think they did.
I thought that just happened. Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to.
She's another one that Kim Kardashian's trying to get out.
And it brings up a lot of angry feelings with men towards women. It's on these cases, like how are they walking? But there's plenty of men who've walked too on just as ridiculous claims. So, but right now I'm working on a case of a guy who was, you know, I've done so many of these wrongful conviction exonerations, but people always say to me, "Oh, well, what's next? They're going to try to get a guy off who was caught on film." That's exactly what happened in Michigan.
Really?
The guy is on film doing the crime. His father IDs him, and they have one of these Soros-backed DAs who got him off. I think it's like the audience just dwindled down to almost nothing else. Talking about this.
Sean walks off and everybody.
Right. I agree. The Innocence Project is a fraud. I can talk about these wrongful conviction cases all day, but this is just
so many. It's incredible how many.
Thank God you're back, Sean. I think we dwindled your audience down to almost nothing.
Listen, I just they're still here. There's still almost 1,000 people here.
Nice.
Which, by the way, you guys should subscribe to Alf and Roberta Glass. Like right now, do it now. You guys are here. I think we're ready to wrap soon. But there is one additional bonus video, and I can't find the local news report, but I found the Young Turks coverage from the time that we definitely have to watch. And yes, people are like, "Oh, he had to use the bathroom." Yes, I had to use the bathroom. I'm sorry. I drank a bunch of coffee before this started. All right, what do you want me to do? But this is just a funny story, so people. I mean, it's not funny, but just so people know how crazy it was after Casey Anthony. That we got to cover it, and we're gonna dig up an old Young Turks clip, so you guys could watch the story. Because I can't find the local news report. So yeah, this is a Casey Anthony after the trial, a lookalike of hers was attacked.
Oh my god! Look how young Anna is there. Oh my god.
I know. I'm gonna skip their. They're brought to you by T-Mobile though.
Pre-nose job.
Attacked by a woman because she was accused of looking like Casey Anthony. The woman who attacked her said that she looked like Casey Anthony.
No, she was attacked because the woman thought she was Casey.
Yeah,
not yet right.
Exactly. The woman thought that she was actually Casey Anthony.
Look at a man correcting Anna Kasparian right from the jump.
That's why they don't work there anymore.
And it's like she was
guy?
It's some guy that they had,
Yeah,
but
they
she's
used to
like,
have on there.
she's like, Anna's like, she was attacked because the woman thought she looked like Casey Anthony, like not because she thought she was Casey Anthony.
Yeah. But now you know why he's gone. He corrected.
Yeah, he corrected Anna. He stood up to her, like people are like pre-nose job. This is an old case, like
yeah, this is old.
But they have the local news report in here.
Yeah, this is before Anna got her nose job. You can see it.
They have the local news report in here.
Over in Florida, an Oklahoma mother says one woman's outrage over that verdict nearly cost her life. Samay Blackwell says a crazed woman tried to kill her just because she thought Blackwell looked like Casey Anthony. Lacey Lowry has her harrowing tale of survival tonight.
I left about 10:30, 10:35.
Samay Blackwell hopes she never hears this again.
Like, you look like Casey Anthony. I'm like, okay.
She doesn't think it's funny after what happened July 8th. Blackwell works at this convenience store and says Shireen Nally came in that night around 10 and looked very suspicious, then left after buying gas.
And I just couldn't keep my eyes off of her.
Samay got off work at about 10.
Oh wait, I paused it at the wrong moment. First of all, the suspect, not.
And I just couldn't keep my eyes off.
They're not sending their best to this gas station in Oklahoma, but I think we need to determine something before we get into the rest of this story, which is she guilty of looking like Casey Anthony?
I don't think she really looks like her. Maybe the style, because she has the haircut, kind of like maybe the girl was confused by the style.
True,
and remember, the style of dress too.
Yeah, and the outfit too. Yeah,
right. The V-neck T-shirts and the cap sleeve.
But facially, she doesn't really look like her.
Well, remember, this is Casey from the time of the trial, not the Casey that we saw who may have had work done and has aged like 12 years. Like, So we're going no or yes or close enough?
Her nose is so different, it totally changes the face. It doesn't look nothing like her.
She doesn't even have like the kind of horsey, little bit horsey face. That
she has a long
I don't mean
face,
that.
Like a tall
right,
face.
she has a very long oval face, and this woman
she doesn't.
Doesn't.
By the way, like we're gonna play this video because you guys have to see how bad this like attack was. Because it's not. It's like it's funny, but it's also like not funny.
Off of her.
Samay got off work at about 10:30 that night, came outside to get into her vehicle, which was parked on the other side of the building.
I began to back out and looked, and I could tell she was staring directly at me.
By the way, local news is so cheesy. Like the fact that they had her get in the car and start it and all that. It's like, what? Why are you doing that? Like you could just describe it. It's like she shifted into reverse just like this reenactment.
I like when they do the close up of the shift of the gear shift going into reverse too. Sometimes, yeah.
It's like, just so you know, this is how an automobile works.
For those who may not know.
Oh my god.
Almost see the white in her eyes. I proceeded to pull out of the parking lot, and she was right behind me.
Blackwell drove a few miles and says Nally suddenly rammed her van into the back of Blackwell's truck.
I said, oh my God, help me.
She pulled into this parking lot to get away.
She hit me again, causing my vehicle to flip 2.5 times, landing on the driver's side. And I just laid there playing dead.
Blackwell's mother says she'll never forget her daughter's reaction.
I just laid there playing dead. Hopefully she'll leave me alone.
Again, it's very serious. It's attempted murder and all that, but
that's horrific. They flipped the car twice. That's horrifying.
Her story is like she acted like she was being attacked by a grizzly bear.
Yeah. If I stayed totally still, they wouldn't be able to see me.
Oh my god.
I got out a garbage can. I got out 2 garbage can lids.
Oh my god.
I got to her. She was crying. She was shaking. She says, "Mama, this lady thinks I'm Casey."
Oh, there's Casey right there. Yeah, Casey's way prettier than that girl. I'm just saying. Like, look at Casey at the trial at the time versus that woman. I would say it was a compliment, honestly. She flipped her SUV twice, but like, you know, it was
complimentary.
Yeah.
You know, Anthony, she tried to kill me.
Police chased Nally and arrested her for assault and battery with a deadly weapon. Nally told police she was trying to save the children.
She said that.
Trying to save the children. He's a baby killer. She thought that Casey Anthony's going to go out and kill more babies or something. Even thinking that, it seems kind of insane.
I love this woman's like theory of the case is that Casey Anthony, after being acquitted for murder, was working in a gas station in Oklahoma and flipping her SUV would somehow bring the child back to life.
I appreciate her passion.
Yeah.
You know, she was trying.
I was trying to hurt babies. I was killing babies, and she was going to stop it before it happened again. She could have taken me away from my family, my daughter.
And her daughter is also named Kaylee. The
Whoa!
only thing Blackwell says she has in common with Casey Anthony.
Whoa!
That is a pretty big coincidence.
Whoa! Plot twist. Witness protection. Casey Anthony was actually snitching on the feds. By the way, in this one, I guess they look the most alike. But
yeah,
Casey's
see what I mean about the
winning.
hair? It's because of the hair.
Yeah.
That probably made her think it was her.
We just got the plot twist of the century right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the daughter's the same name, except she didn't kill hers.
You know what's really weird though? Is that this woman actually, like, her daughter went missing and she went to a t-shirt contest during the 31 days.
Right. Plot twist.
That's not true. Whoever this lady is, who unfortunately went through this, and I'm bringing this up again, do not sue me. I'm sure your daughter is like a teenager or whatever by now.
Yeah, by now, yeah.
JK, LOL.
Where'd you find this? Where'd you find this? Oh my lord.
Well, I don't look that much like her, so what about people who actually do look like her and live closer to Florida instead of Oklahoma? What's going to happen to those people?
Lacey Lowry, News on 6 tonight.
You know, I really hope
she's actually bringing up a really important social problem that could be sweeping the nation shortly. What is going to happen to all the women who look like Casey Anthony? This could be a mass slaughter.
We're gonna watch the news one day and they'll be like, this is the 4th Casey Anthony lookalike to be murdered this month.
If you get attacked, just act dead.
Yeah.
Dye your hair blonde, whatever you need to do to not look like Casey Anthony.
All over again.
Somebody's like, Anna Kasparian looks like Casey Anthony.
Oh my god! Just to get
you know what? You know what's unfortunate is like what actually happened to the women that look like Casey Anthony was that they were paid a bunch of money to do adult videos.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should we play any of Anna's commentary?
It's up to you. Look at that nose.
That Brad Pitt never does anything evil
Mm-hmm.
because people confuse him and me all the time. And if he does something evil, I'm going to be afraid to go out, frankly. So, Brad, stay on the straight and narrow, boy. Okay. And by the way, I think she does look like
old man comedy.
A little bit. I mean, they just both look like skinny white girls with dark hair.
Yeah, you know what? You know what this family Blackwell ought to do?
Mm-hmm.
She ought to.
Yeah, they didn't add anything.
Dye her hair,
by the way.
Samay. Okay, well, Samay.
All right, whatever.
She just looks like a skinny white girl. So do you, Anna.
Yeah.
That's what you look like.
Get Anna. Don't get Anna. She's not Casey Anthony. I actually think Casey Anthony looks more like Anna now. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. And they're the same age. And they've never been in the same room at the same time.
They might be
oh
the same
my God. Yeah, no, but that was just.
Oh,
it.
wait,
That was
and Anna doesn't have a kid.
Yeah, Anna also
not a
doesn't have a
mother.
kid. True. But yeah, that was just a little fun story for how crazy this case was back in the day that I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah,
the documentary's crazy. I can't believe how they portray her and let her just say all these things.
Yeah. Are you gonna watch the full documentary, Roberta Alf?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll probably talk about it. I know that the Great Tuesday Money wants to talk about it, so she's up in arms. I got messages from people like, "Are you watching this? This is hard." You know, like my phone's blowing up. Like people upset. You know that this is so outrageous, and she's being allowed to lie and being supported in her lies. Really.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's funny and it's horrifying. It's all those things all at once.
Yeah.
I was talking about this documentary with Devin like the last 3 days. So that's why when you told me to come on, I was like, oh yeah, I've been kind of prepped for this because me and him have been talking about this for the last 3 days.
Devin watching it too?
Yeah, he's been excited for this, waiting for it to come out, and we're waiting to watch it together.
Did he watch the trial? Because this is kind of like he's around my age.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
I remember I had members of my family that were like obsessed with the case and the trial and all that, like nonstop, to the point where like I would, women in my family, of course, to the point where I called my cousin and he's like, yeah, my mom won't stop watching it. It's like, it's ridiculous. Like women love true crime. It's just a fact.
I mean, when that trial was going on, it was a big deal. It was always on television.
It was the trial of the year.
Here and there, yeah, it was huge.
Oh, for sure.
All right, I'll read the super chats and I'll let you guys get out of here.
Do you think Jodi Arias is hotter than Casey Anthony?
That's a good question.
I have to look her up.
Jodi Arias, she was Ecuadorian, I think. I can't remember her nationality.
I can't remember.
Some sort of Hispanic, but I think it was Ecuador. She was pretty too. I don't know which one I would consider prettier.
No, I'm not into it as much. Oh wait, there's
a
photo of her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All the pictures of Jodi Arias is her without any makeup or anything. Like if you find her like dolled up, you might have a different opinion.
Yeah, right. I think Casey's prettier. Frankly.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
All right, I'll read the super chats and I'll let you crazy kids get out of here. So, intellectual iconoclasm, you guys with the names, for $10 says we need to recognize we were wrong. She didn't off her daughter. This was at most a loving and tender PBA like ever. What? Oh, this was the most loving and tender PBA ever. This woman's Oh my God.
You're not gonna read the rest of it, are you?
Oh my God. I just realized what PBA means. Okay. All right, I gotta have to read it again because it doesn't violate the terms of service. But I just realized what PBA means. It really confused me. We need to recognize that we were wrong. She didn't off her daughter. This was the most loving and tender post-birth abortion ever. This is a woman's reproductive rights issue. Oh yay of the soggy knees. Okay, that last part I don't even know.
Yeah,
and then we have Make the Transition for $2, who wrote in Not Gonna Lie, I Would. That's, of course, referring to take Casey Anthony out to a nice dinner. BR Cody for $1. Thank you. No message. And Mr. Blank for $10 says she's dual wielding. And he also called me Sean, SHAWN. So, yeah, that's it. Quick. In and out. Nobody needs to get hurt. Everybody needs to go over and subscribe to Roberta Glass and to Alf. They are linked at the top of the description of this video. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I don't know if you have final words, what you want to say related to anything that you're working on or whatever, but I yield the floor to you.
Thank you so much, Sean, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sean. And it was nice talking to you, Roberta. We never got to actually talk. That was nice.
Nice talking to you.
And for the audience, next time, send your money to me and not Sean. I'm going to post the link in the chat. No.
Send it to Alf StreamYards. He'll interrupt to read it directly.
I'm the real reason you guys are here. We all know.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to click the no stream button now. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.